Don't Miss the Fine Print, interpreted by Jessica Lamb. My name is Janice Blanchard. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, where I grew up for 22 years. After that, I relocated to Colorado. I rented around a bit for almost 32 years until I got the hankering to purchase my own home. I approached the landlord of the place that I was renting at the time and explained that I wanted to buy my own home. The landlord decided to help me out and connected me with a mortgage agency. I wasn't sure who he was going to connect me with, explained that I needed an interpreter. They called me on the TTY. A woman by the name of Lisa. She made an appointment for me and scheduled a time for us to meet at her office. I went that day to meet her at her office, waited. When Lisa came around, I was thrilled to find out that she knew sign language. That was an excitement for me. We went back to her office and I explained to her that I was looking to purchase my own home. She explained the process and said I needed to go through a credit check first. We filled out the paperwork. She asked me to come by the office again. So after that, I made my due payments monthly and kept coming by the office for several months in a row until we finished the process. And to my excitement, she informed me that I passed the credit check and I qualified for a house of $130,000. $130,000. Okay. I thought at the time that I wanted to approach my boyfriend, ask him if he wanted to apply jointly with me, and see where we can go from there. So she invited us back to her office and said that would be fine. After speaking with him, saying that I wanted to purchase a home and asked him if he wanted to do the same and have a family in our own home, he agreed. We came by the office, met Lisa again. After introducing him, he went through the same process that I went through. She explained that we were filing jointly together and we passed. She looked around at properties and found a house that met our qualifications. We went ahead and started the move August 11th. Oh, you can imagine how excited I was to be moving into my own home. We were thrilled. Got everything moved in after it was all said and done, and we made our regular payments on the house. At that time, the company was North American Mortgage, and they had set my monthly amount to $13.11 a month. So I paid that for a couple of years, 1 to 2 years. And then all of a sudden, one day, we got a letter from another company that appeared to have bought out our mortgage. I wasn't quite sure what happened, but the letter indicated that I owed them a different amount, $15.64 a month, which was higher than I was paying in the past with the other company. So I decided to check on it and place a call. It was a California-based company. I gave them a ring. And after talking on the phone and asking them why my amount went up, I didn't get a direct answer except that I just owed them that amount and had to pay the $15.64 now instead of the $13.11. So I went ahead and put a money order in the mail and sent them their payment. The following month, the amount went up again, which was disconcerting. I approached my boyfriend and asked for some help. And he just said, give it some time. It'll get easier, it'll get better. So I kept paying them their monthly amount that they asked me to pay, even though it kept going up every month, which I didn't understand why, until the final payment that I sent in, which was almost $2,000, bounced back. It was a shock when I got that check back in the mail. At that point, I knew there had to be something wrong. So I called the company up again and asked them what was going on. At that point, they said I needed to pay a $7,000 amount. I was shocked. $7,000? Where am I going to get that money from? I can't afford $7,000. At that point, I got pretty nervous. So I went to my local bank and met up with a lady who I've worked with in the past there and said, I don't understand this company. They sent me this bill for $7,000. Would you mind helping me out and giving them a call? She agreed, so she went ahead and gave them a call. After talking on the phone for a bit, they explained to her that they couldn't give any confidential information on the phone. My personal information was only for my ears and eyes only, and that they wouldn't help me out. And so she explained that I had to do the phone call myself, that she couldn't do the phone call for me. But he did give her the name of the company and the address. It was a Parker Insurance Company on a Countryville Homes location. So I decided to take a chance and go to the location and see if I could meet up with somebody there. I went and met up with a man or a woman and showed her the bill. She was quite rude and tart with me and just told me I had to pay the amount and I had to write a letter to the company myself, and I didn't know what to do at that point. I went back home really disappointed from that meeting, decided to call an interpreter and explain that I needed to communicate with this mortgage company about these bills that I'm getting. And the interpreter told me that I couldn't hire her, that the company had to call her and hire her directly, which was new to me. So I called the company, the Countryville location, and explained that they needed to hire an interpreter and that I wanted to have a meeting with the interpreter. So they went ahead and did that for me. A gentleman called and hired the interpreter, made an appointment, and we went ahead and scheduled that and set up a time to meet there with the interpreter. We met, had a conversation. The gentleman looked over the paperwork that I gave him. I explained that I didn't understand the letter completely. I didn't understand why they were asking for such a high amount and why it had changed from the past. He explained that it seemed that I was not entirely open in disclosing all of my financial information, that I had held back some information. And the mortgage company need all of my finances to be sent in. Now you can imagine this was confusing for me because this was my first time going through this and I was awkward. So I went home, got a friend to help me, made copies of all my bills and statements that they needed, filled out the right paperwork, and sent it in.